everyone, thank you so much for coming to my channel. My name is Jill, and I always say channel weirdly the first time, and I don't know why. In any case, as I was saying, my name is Jill, and today we're going to go through a bunch of products I bought from Shopmissa. They have a beauty brand called AOA, and then everything is really cheap, like $1, $2. So I just put in an order and bought a bunch of random stuff. Not even necessarily makeup, just like beauty products and home products and lifestyle products in general. So if you are interested, let's get into it. This is pretty full. Everything came shoved in here. It comes in this huge bubble wrap thing, which is actually pretty cool. It's like a Ziploc bag, but bubble wrap. It's actually very cool. I've never seen that before. So let's start off. The first thing I got was these 3 different beauty blenders. This one is like velvet. Is that what it is? It says microfiber, but I've heard that it feels like velvet and it's really good for the under eye, so I wanted to try that. And then I got 2 beauty blenders, or 2 beauty sponges. This is the Wonder Blender and this is the Paw Paw Wonder Blender. I got 2 because I had heard that these are really nice and soft, but I didn't know which one people were talking about. I have to feel like it's probably the Wonder Blender because it said that that one was super soft, but I'll have to open both of these and see. So this one is the Paw Paw one, and it is very, very soft. This one is the Shopmissa one, and it literally feels like a rubber bouncy ball. I think I'm gonna go with the softer one, so I'm just gonna dip that in some water and then we'll get started. Oh, before I forget, I got some hair clips as well. I do have some Kala hair clips, the turquoise-ish ones. If you've been on my channel before, you've probably seen me wear it, but those don't really hold my hair back that well, so I got these. It comes in a pack of 3 and it just says no crease hair clips. So let's actually put these on first before I go in with the foundation and primer and the rest of my makeup. Alright, just gonna clip my hair back. I have very fine hair, very thin hair, so I think that if you have thin hair, these are fine, but they don't feel like the strongest and like it would hold back the most amount of hair. I think that if you had more hair than I do, you probably should get something that can hold more hair. Let's see if I do all of this, if it'll hold everything. Yeah, like even that much is just, it's not holding, it's too much hair for the clip. So you really can't put that much hair in these, but they feel very sturdy if you put an okay amount of hair in there. So this one has, I'd say, the most amount of hair that's going to fit in there. This one I could probably fit a little bit more hair in there if I needed to. They feel very sturdy, like if I go like this, they're not coming out. Yeah, no, they feel very sturdy. I think I need to give this sponge more time to, I don't know, enlarge. I don't know. I don't know what the correct terminology is, but it looks all weird and bumpy. I'm actually gonna go in with the Shopmissa sponge, the one that feels like a rubber bouncy ball, and put that in the water and see, because this one is just all types of different formed weirdly. So here are both sponges damp, and I left them in water for a good amount of time, so they should definitely be full now. This one is much heavier and kind of feels like memory foam, and then this one is much softer, but it has some like weird dents in it a little bit, but it definitely went away more so when I put it in water and left it in there for a while. This has never happened with any other beauty sponges I've ever used where I've had to leave it soaking in the water. Maybe that's just the first time I use it because it has like a barrier on it or something. When I did put it in, it bubbled a little bit, so maybe there's just some coating on the outside that has to be washed off the first time you use it. As far as firmness and comparing consistencies, I would say the Real Techniques sponges are somewhere in the middle of this. Not as soft as this one, but not as hard as this one, and this one just feels like it has much more of a bounce, like you could drop it on the floor and it would bounce back up at you. Also, I want to note that I put the beauty blenders in this cup. It was clean water and I just put it over here so I didn't have to get up and go to the sink. And there's definitely something on or inside of these sponges because this water was clear before, and now you can see it has a little bit of like a milky white-ish hue to it. So there's definitely something on these sponges. So if you buy them, wash them before you use them. I think I'm going to go in with the Paw Paw one though for my foundation. And then I'm going to go in with the other one for my concealer just so we can test both. And I just feel like this one is going to be a little bit softer for the face. And then maybe this one will give me more coverage under the eyes and won't absorb as much product. So that's what I'm thinking. Let's go into it. Foundation, I'm going to use my Matte and Poreless Maybelline. I know for a fact I have to use a sponge with this foundation or else it looks really streaky. Can't put it on with your hands or a brush, at least in my opinion and how I've used it. It always looks too streaky. So I'm just going to go right on the Beauty Blender. I keep calling it a Beauty Blender. I'm going to go right on the Beauty Sponge. And so far so good. I don't see it sucking up a ton of product even though it's very soft. So I'm going to dot this around my face and start blending. My camera died, so unfortunately we missed the application of the concealer, but I'm going to do a second layer just to show you how it blended out. So I'm using the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. Always need more in my mind. But I used this Shopmissa sponge and it blended out nicely. I think that this sponge absorbs less product, so it's not as soft, but probably get more coverage just because it's more dense of a sponge. Let's go ahead and blend this out. It blended out nicely on the first go around. Second time around, it's looking good as well. And I say it's a more dense, like harder consistency or type of material, but it doesn't hurt or anything. I mean, it still is a sponge, so it's soft. It's just not as soft as the Paw Paw one. So I think both sponges are good. I really don't know which one people are talking about when they say that this sponge is their favorite. I don't know if it's the Shopmissa one or the Paw Paw one that you can buy on Shopmissa, but either way, I think they're both nice. They're both good sponges. I hate the one I have right now, which is from Real Techniques, so I like both of these better than that one. So I think if you like a softer sponge, go with the Paw Paw. If you like a denser sponge, go with the Shopmissa one. I'm gonna go into some powder now and get this second sponge, the microfiber one that people often say is kind of like velvety. And I want to see how that does pressing this powder in my under eye area. So it has this flat side. That's probably really good to get in that nook and cranny of your eye area. Let me just take some powder. This is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin, and putting some on here, and I'm just gonna go under the eye like this. And I'm not wetting this because I heard that you're not supposed to wet these types of sponges. But if it doesn't look good, maybe I'll end up having to. We'll see. I did a good job. Let's use that sponge and powder just a little bit more. Actually, I'm gonna powder my whole face. I'm gonna go into a setting spray after this and then use one of the other sponges to press everything into the skin. And I kind of just want to see how they do in that sense of smoothing everything out. Okay, I think that the sponge did a great job of blending out this powder. It's not looking cakey, but I still got really good coverage, and I don't think that you need to wet this one. Maybe in the future I will just to see, but it worked perfectly fine dry. With the powder, you can use the sponge that it comes with, but this is much easier to grip and it's much easier to get in those nooks and crannies. And then also this one you can wash and reuse. I don't know if you can really wash and reuse the ones that come in these powders. So I think this is good and I liked it and it's giving me a nice finish. But now let's go into setting spray, because this comes to our next product, which I got a fan. And this is more so not even for makeup, but a lot of the time in the summer, I'm like sitting, oh, there we go. A lot of the time in the summer, I'm sitting on the subway and I get so hot. And my friends and I always joke, I'm like, oh, I need a fan. And this was $1. So you know what? I got the fan. So let me fan in my setting spray and then we will press everything in with the Beauty Blender. This is what the fan looks like. It is kind of pretty. It was only $1, so I don't know that you can really expect a fantastic quality fan, but it's fine. I mean, you can definitely tell it's not good quality, but I mean, I don't really need it to be good quality, so I think it's fine. You have to hold it open with your hands. It doesn't just stay open if you go like this, like it goes back and forth. So you just have to hold it open, and it's working fine as a fan. Let me just take my foundation sponge and press that in a little bit more and make sure it's really melting with the skin and the powder. Okay, yeah, my base is looking good. I like it. I have no complaints. So bronzer, going in with some Physicians Formula as I always do. Now let's do some blush and highlighter. Just using the same brushes because I'm not doing a very like intricate detailed look. This is more of a faster, not so in-depth look today, so don't need all my different brushes and everything. For highlight, just gonna take my highlighting brush and go into this palette, which is the same, go into the pink shimmery shade and just put it up here so it's a little bit of a blush topper slash highlight. All right, I'm gonna go in once more with that setting spray and really melt all these powders and everything together, and then blend it and pat it in with my sponge. Handy dandy. Oh, I thought that was gonna be a lot more smooth. Handy dandy fan. And you can definitely see it's just not the best quality fan, but I don't really need it to be the best quality. But as I'm fanning, I'm just gonna press this in before it dries. Under the eyes, gotta make sure of that because I don't want them to crease. And I'm just gonna fan. And yeah, I think that's looking good. I think the sponges worked. I think fan is a nice addition. I'm definitely gonna use it in the summertime when I'm really hot and sweaty and my face is just like dripping. I am having a little bit of a hair problem. I wish these clips held back a little bit more hair, but that's all right. And I got one of those switches. I know that the Sigma switch is very popular, but this was just $1 on AOA. Is it AOA, Shopmissa? I don't really know. Or maybe AOA is their brand, their beauty brand, and then Shopmissa is like the entire website. I don't really know. But this is what it looks like. Really just like a diffused sponge type material. It's like a sponge, but with a lot of holes in it. I don't really know how to explain it. It almost looks like a kitchen sponge that you would use to clean your pots and pans with. Anyways, it's a pretty simple packaging and design and product. And a lot of these that I've seen other places that are more expensive are the same material as this. They're just different packaging. So I was like, oh, I'll just try this one because it's $1 and it looks the same as everything else. So I think what I'm gonna do is just use one brush for my entire eye look to really see if this does a good job. I'm gonna use my Juvia's Place palette. This is the Warrior palette, and I'm just gonna go a little bit out of order because I wanna do the deepest shade first, and then I'll build up to the lightest because I wanna actually see if this switcheroo thing here works. So let's go into the deepest shade in the corner. I feel like I have the amount of pigment I want on my eyes, so I'm going to take whatever's left and just swirl it in this thing, because normally now I would go in and blend that with a clean brush, but this is going to be that clean brush. So I've swirled it around a couple times. Let's go on the back of my hand and see if anything happens. I'm not seeing anything come off onto the back of my hand, so I'm going to go in and just blend that out. Going in again, trying to get everything off, because now I'm going to go into the lightest shade in the palette, which is this one right here, called a Hosey, and I'm just gonna pack it all over the brush and go into this inner corner area because I want to see if there's any of that dark left over, and we'll definitely find out after using this basically my skin tone color shade. I think that it did a very good job. I mean, the darker color is not over here and the lighter color looks completely light, so yeah, I think it did a good job. Let's try shimmers. I know the shimmers won't show up as well with the brush, but just because I want to keep playing around with this little switchy thing. So let's go like this, get all the eyeshadow off, and on the back of my hand it looks like nothing's coming off, so that's good. And let's go into Idia. This is like a pretty bright shimmer, and yeah, I'm not expecting this to be the best shimmer I put on ever, or the best application, again, because this is not the brush for it, but I just want to try it out. All right, so that more gold shimmer is on my eye, and again, I'm just gonna go like this, see what I can get off, and then we're gonna go in with the lightest shimmer and try that out, because after that, I think if it works, we can pretty much say that this does a good job. I wonder if you can clean this. I would have to think if you ran just some water over it, you could probably clean it. So I'm gonna go into the brightest shimmer, which is this inner shimmer called Moremi, and just go on the inner portion of my lid. All right, so that lightest color is on the inner portion of my lid, and I mean, I don't like the application just because this is not the brush for it and I would want it to pop more, but I'm really just trying to test out the AOA eyeshadow cleaner switch thing, and yeah, I think it worked. I mean, all the colors stayed in place and there's no bleeding or anything into the other colors, so I definitely don't think there was anything left on the brush. There are a couple of hairs from my brush stuck in here, so I mean, this is a Morphe brush. It's not like the best quality, so I don't know if they were just like ready to come out or if those were going to shed anyways, but I am noting it did pull, it looks like 2 brush hairs out of my brush. I have another deeper palette here, which is the Wild Child palette from ColourPop. I'm going to go into the darkest shade called Feisty, and you can see it's on the brush, and I'm just going to go like this. See, that's on my hand, and now let's go back in, use the switcheroo. I don't know what it's called, so I'm just going to call it the switcheroo. Get it all up in there, and now I'm going to go like this, and let's see if there's anything coming off. No, I can report there's no eyeshadow coming off of my hand over here. So yeah, this definitely works. I think it's a good product, and obviously, like, the other ones that I've seen look exactly the same. Like, this material is the same. Maybe not the packaging, and maybe you have different options, but as far as getting the job done, it got the job done. I just want to go back into my palette though and use a shimmer with my finger because it wasn't as pow as I would like it to be. Let's do it right here. Yeah, not seeing any pigment or anything. That's just the shadow on my hand, like where my vein is, but yeah, I'm not, you can see I'm not having any eyeshadow come up on this brush onto my arm whatsoever. And actually, before we move any further, I'm getting a little hot, so I'm going to use my fan. Next up, I'm going to line my eyes, and this definitely needs a sharpen. I got the AOA sharpener. I believe this was also $1, so that could be really great, because if it works, then, you know, why spend more than you have to on a sharpener? So let's take this, put it in. Looks like it worked to me. It definitely made this sharpened and more pointy, so I can't really say it did anything not good, but it's just a sharpener, so I can't really give you more info than that. I'll have to tell you further on, like I'll keep using it and see if every different type of pencil product will sharpen with this, but I mean, so far so good. It worked with this one. I'm gonna go line my eyes. And the last time I tried to sharpen a BH Power pencil, which is what I'm using, I used the sharpener that I already have, and it basically ruined the pencil. Not this one. I tried it on the purpley silvery one that I had, but in any case, this did not ruin the pencil, so I think it's good. Why spend more than $1 if you don't have to, you know? I'm gonna go put on some mascara and some lip color, and then I'll be back to discuss the last couple of products. The rest of my makeup is done. Using this fan again because I want my eyebrows to dry down, and my mascara for that matter actually as well. I really do like this fan. It's really big, like you can see compared to my face. It's definitely really big. Let me go into the rest of the products. So I'm going to take out these clips now. Oh, ow. Okay. And I took my clips out because I got this clip, and this is from a brand called Melody, but I got it on Shopmissa. So let me just zhuzh the hair up a little bit and clip it back, and we'll see if it holds. Again, I have very thin hair, so if you have thicker hair than me, I don't know if this is going to hold all of your hair, but feels pretty sturdy. Feels good. Probably looks really bad back there, but as far as what it's feeling like, it feels fine. Like, it is definitely grabbing all of my hair. I can go like this, and I don't think it's going to fall out. Here's what it looks like in the back. I'll have to do a better shot. Maybe if I go like this. Sometimes you can do that thing where you hold up the mirror and you can see the back. Let's see if I can do that. Oh geez. Okay, this is not gonna work, just kidding. But I'll just show you by turning around. How about that? That's much safer for my makeup. So yeah, it's holding all my hair and I can't really say anything negatively about it. I like putting my hair up like this during the day a lot just so it's out of my face, but sometimes you don't want to put all your hair up in like a scrunchie or something because it can damage your hair. So this is just a nice alternative hairstyle, and this clip was like $1 or $2, I believe, and it's actually a lot bigger than I was expecting it to be. I thought it was going to be like maybe that big. I thought it was a small clip. So yeah, I think that the clip is nice. And what else did I get? I got some sanitizing wipes. Obviously I'm not a scientist and I can't really test if this actually kills germs or not, but let's just use one and see if it makes your hands sticky or anything. Sometimes you can't use these on your hands. Sometimes they get all sticky and they smell weird, but this is mint. Doesn't really smell minty. Maybe like a sweet mint, and I don't know, I guess I have some eyeshadow. Let's see if it removes. Okay, I mean, it's not a makeup wipe, but it did remove the eyeshadow from my hands, and I'm just gonna wipe my hands and tell you how I feel. Okay, it's not leaving my hands sticky or anything. Again, I can't comment on how antibacterial they really are because I'm not a scientist. I don't have the skills to test that, but it feels like a nice wipe. It doesn't feel like it's going to dry out my hands. There's no overwhelming or horrible scent or anything. It's just a nice wipe. And I really didn't think this fan was going to come in handy so much, but it's hot. And it's nice. Okay, my makeup is done, my hair's done. I mean, it doesn't look good, but it's done. So let me quickly bring you through all of the items I got, and I'll give you a final review of how I'm feeling about all of them. Let's go to the pencil sharpener. So I will say the top comes off really easily, so you should probably just be careful that you don't lose the top. Like, I wouldn't travel with it or anything, or if you do, just keep it in a separate compartment so you don't lose the bottom or the top. The bottom is a little bit more sturdy, the top just comes right off. But it worked. It sharpened my pencil really, really nicely. And again, pencil sharpeners, I feel like, are just one of those things that you don't have to spend a lot of money on, you know? So it was nice that this worked out well. It sharpened my eyeliner, and yeah, I like it. Let's get into the sponges. So I actually ended up liking both of these, and I like them better than the one I currently use, which is from Real Techniques. I actually hate that one, so both of these were better. I do think that more absorbs with the Paw Paw sponge than the Shopmissa sponge. However, this one is so soft. Like, you can just see it's like very soft. This one's more like rubbery. It feels kind of like a rubber bouncy ball, but I don't think it absorbs as much product as this one does. So I think they're both good. I just think that they're both used and for different things. If I was gonna buy one, I don't know, probably this one, just because I feel like this will help you really press everything into the skin. We have these wipes now. I liked these. They didn't have a weird scent. They didn't leave a weird residue on my hands. I liked it. Again, as far as them actually being sanitizing, I can't comment. I'm not a scientist. I don't have the ability to look into that, but as far as using them and just feeling wise, they're nice and they're very affordable. So if you're going to buy Clorox ones or one of those name brands from the drugstore, those are going to run you like, well, like $5 to $10, and this is $1. Next up, the fan. I love this fan. I don't know. It's not the most sturdy. It is not the best quality. It doesn't stay open. You have to hold it open with your hand, and it's definitely flimsy, but I just really like it. And I don't know, I feel like I've been missing this in my beauty routine for my entire life. I don't know what else to say. I mean, not even that you have to get this fan, but if you don't have a fan and you are, you know, a hot person, not in like, ooh, you're so hot, but I mean that too, but in a way where like you're always sweating, I would say get a fan. It doesn't even have to be this fan, just get a fan. Up next, we have the AOA switch. I don't know what else to call it, but that's what everyone calls it, a Sigma switch from Sigma, so I'm gonna call it the AOA switch. Yeah, this was good, it worked. I put on that really dark eyeshadow and then went into the lighter eyeshadow, and You couldn't see any mixing or any of the color left over. So yeah, it definitely worked. I wonder if you could clean this. I think you can. And as I was saying, you could probably just run water over it and clean it out, and that would probably be fine. Some of the brush hairs did come off. I don't know if it's like a rougher texture or something, or if they just needed to come off from the brush anyways, but just noting a couple of brush hairs did come off, so go gently if you're going to be using this, just to see how it goes with your brushes. Up next, we have the microfiber velvety feeling sponge. This was good. I mean, it did a good job distributing my powder. I don't know that I would use it for anything else besides powder, but let me know down below if you want me to use this with like foundation or dampened or whatever it may be. Just let me know. I do like it, and I think that this flat side is definitely where it's at. I don't foresee myself using literally any other part, but you can see it just fits in so nicely. I think that it does a good job applying the powder. I don't think I need to say it, but I love this fan and the hair clip that I'm wearing. I don't want to take it out, but yeah, it's holding my hair perfectly fine. It's a nice plain clip. If you've just been needing more, and like I have one right now and then I can never find it because it's always upstairs or downstairs, or I used it here or I used it there. So I know a backup clip is good for me to have, and it's holding in my hair nicely. Like I can go like this and nothing's really happening. It's not falling out or anything. I don't have a lot of hair though, so if you do have a lot of hair, you might need to get like a larger one or something because it's not super big. And then I did have those clips, but now I can't find them. And last but not least, we have these clips. I think these are fine. They are a little small, so you can't get a ton of hair in them to pull back. Like you can see throughout the entire video, my hair kept coming over my shoulder, and I was like, so it's a little annoying. However, removing it from like your immediate hairline, it does do that. I just think if you have any more hair than I do, you might have to use more than one, or just not use these basically. But they're fine. Taking them out, nothing got caught or anything. When I was saying ow, it was because I was pulling my hair out, because these little things back here are so small it's hard to get your fingers on them. So I don't love these, but I'm definitely going to keep using them and see if they work. They definitely held the hair securely. I just don't know, like I think I might need bigger ones, because these ends, it's just like you have to semi pull your hair to get it out of your hair. So I don't know about these. This is probably the only product I would pass on right now. And that's it for me. Thank you so much for being here and watching my video. I hope you guys had a very happy holiday season, and so excited now to get into the next season of things and see all the new makeup and see what's on sale from the holiday season. But now that all that 2021 stuff is over, we can just go into 2022. Thank you so much for watching again, and I will see you in my next video.